What is up, YouTube? Welcome back. We just did a quick live stream, and then the kids were being a little unruly, so I had to end it. And that is that. And so we've got just doing a quick doodle of Ozzie Smith, the Wizard, and hopefully my wife's not texting me again. I'm down in my dungeon. And we are doing some, got some reds. I'm trying to just get my bead here. We were working on blue because there's not much in it on this uni. These are home unis, and just some pinstriping and on the legs, on the arms, and the waistband. And I got to look at this here, and a pinstripe on the leg. And so we're getting the blue out of the way because that's it. And what I was saying is that man, these are alcohol-based pigment pens, and they are not fine. I don't know if there's probably some finer ones out there, but you have that end, and you have this big old chisel end, which definitely does not get used on my type of drawings. But so anyway, you got to be really light. This is a watercolor paper, like 140-pound watercolor paper. It takes the alcohol a little bit better than some of the other types of paper, but it's fine. I mean, you got to just lightly do it. Okay, I got this, and then I've got the waistband, and so I'm kind of starting inside where I want, and I'm just letting it kind of, I don't know, kind of seep into where I want it to go to, staying away from the edge. I've just made a very basic outline doodle, and then we're just coloring in it. It's kind of, it's not, everybody's like, wow, that's amazing. I am not a professional artist. I don't have any training, so don't quote me on anything, but just wanted to show you what I'm doing. I think they're coming out okay. I'm not very good with faces yet. I probably need some classes or something. But hey, you gotta start somewhere, and it's fun to doodle. I'm not gonna lie, I'm having fun doing these. It's of baseball players, some hockey, whatever. I don't know, do some football, basketball. You know, cards are crazy, so it's kind of cool to find a nice picture of a Hall of Famer and make a doodle. So I'm getting into it. And so I just got this like light sketch, and then I'm just coloring it in. It's nothing crazy. So pinstripes, the belt, that and that. So I think that's all the blue that we need. So I can actually get this off the desk. We're gonna call that good. Where do we go from here? Not 100% sure. Actually, I almost want a pink. And I don't really want that kind of pink. Maybe that pink. Now let's play with our reds. These are going to be all the flesh tones over here. These are going to be the uniform shadings, shadows, and whatnots over here. And it's a home uni, so it's white. So we're going to be really, really good. Oh. I think that's a batting glove in his back pocket. I'm going to try to just, you know what? Let's make the assumption that that's a batting glove, and on the old reference picture, and not some shadows. And I'm going to make that navy blue. You know what? If I'm wrong, who cares? I'm going to have to be real careful here. This kind of falls in here and then dips down. It's tight. There's just a little bit of shadowing over this way. There's a little hole here. Now that I'm going to have to come in and I'll probably tighten that up a little bit with a navy blue colored pencil. Same thing here. Some of this got out of line. I'll come in and draw some sharp lines with a nice sharp colored pencil and blend it in kind of that way, and it'll be good to go. Just in case I need to do some of that. Well, we'll keep that blue over there just so we know which one we did. It was number 72 in this set. Nobody's hanging out in my live chat, which is fine. Everybody's probably got things going on. They're probably putting all their kids to bed. So, alright, let's come in here. Oh, that's definitely, I don't want to use that chisel part. Wrong side. Let's start off, and so what we're trying to do here is go light to dark, right? So you start off with the lightest color, and then you work your way back in. So there's some highlights in here around this heel cup. And those are the spikes from the other shoe coming in. And then he's got some highlights kind of right here on this heel cup. So these are red shoes, but when the light shines on it, makes it look almost like pink. Not much. Ooh, actually, I didn't. Let me just. Oh, where's my colored pencils? Oh, my advice to you when you're arting is to be more organized than I am. Have a nice clear spot to work at, yada yada. About 1,000 colored pencils here, and I'm trying to find one that I like. And oddly enough, there's not necessarily one that I'm in love with. I guess I need more than 180. I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to color this in with a marker, but I'm just going to try to provide myself. This comes up actually pretty high over here. Give myself some guidelines here on the stirrup. Okay, and that does have a little bit of a highlight that comes along this side of the leg, so the light's kind of coming from this side this way. Almost, no, not quite down from the camera, off a little bit, but so there's a little bit of this lighter color in here. I'm not even sure that's it, so I may come over that anyway. Now let's just see what this next color is. Now the shoe is going to be much darker than this. I'm going to leave a little bit of that highlight. It's kind of like right here and right here. So I can come in and color this in. And it kind of breaks up a little bit around that heel cup. Just two little light things, and I can come back in there and play around with it a little bit with some of the colors. There's just a little bit in there. I got to be careful over here because there's some spikes, and again I can come and clean this up with colored pencils later, so I don't need to get too crazy. I want to get close, but it doesn't have to be perfect. I want to make sure I leave some room there for the cleats because they're really shiny in the light, and so they're almost white. And there's a little dot here. I don't know, these they don't look like Nikes. But anyway, this is a little bit more of a zig and a zag. Do 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 do. There's 2 dots here. And there's a little lip here with some red right on the kind of that heel pull. And it almost looks like a Nike swoosh with a little bit of a shoelace hanging out. This is kind of shiny up front. And then that is my bottom line. And then he's got a flap here, but it's got something on it, so I got to leave a little bit of white on it. This kind of comes around here and makes this flap. There's a lot of white up in there, and there's some darker color in there, but so I'm going to leave that like that. Alright, let's get on these stirrups. I'm going to get real tight right in here. There's some white in there, so we're going to leave some white. Now I'm going to come in and I'm going to put some darker tones in there. So I'm just laying down. Matter of fact, this one's probably even too light for the stripes on the socks. But I'm laying it down, and then what I'll do is I'll come in and put the shadows over the top of that. Now there's a little bit of white sock showing here, and then it goes right up to the here, and again some white. Now I'm going to go to the next. Well, no, that's dark, that's dark. I'm going to come in here. This is pretty light right here. He's wearing some sort of a long sleeve shirt underneath. And there's some lighter colors right along there with a little bit of highlight. And a little bit over here too. Now I may come in and even lighten that up a little bit with the 0. But everything else is going to be a little bit of light coming from this side too. But everything else is going to be the next shade darker and then darker yet after that. I'm going to say that's going to be it for that one. You know what? He's got a little bit on his cap that I'm going to leave. A little bit over here. A little bit. There's a little bump right here too that's kind of light. Dark, dark, dark. Now, we'll play with that. Alright, let's come in here. This should be a little bit darker. And this should be the color that I'm looking for. Yep, it's a little bit darker, but it's just right. I'll have to come in and tighten that up. It's hard to see on the camera. It's a little bit lighter there. I'm going to leave it like that. Now the rest of this is pretty much. This is going to be the base color. I'm going to leave a little bit of that light hanging out there. I'm going to leave a little bit of that light hanging out over here on this edge for some highlight. And then the rest of it is going to be this color going to dark. Interestingly enough, I prefer watercolors. I feel like I don't have as much control with these markers, so now I'm going to come in and I'm going to darken this up a little bit, and I'm going to leave some of it around those high spots. like a high spot up front, so I'm going to leave some of that there. I'm going to come in and darken this up even yet, but more. But some of it I'm going to just leave in there as a high spot. Those are going to be darker. This is going to be darker, I think. So what you're doing is you're kind of layering in darkness over the light. So I'm going to leave a little bit of light there. I'm going to bring in a little more dark. What's it going to be? Dark there. This is all dark except a little light on the front. Okay, that's that. Same thing over here. I'm going to leave a little bit of that light. And then I'm going to come in with the dark. I'm going to come into it a little bit and around it. And then it's a pretty safe bet that the rest of this hat is going to be this color or darker. There's basically a brim here, but it's hard to see because there's a lot of shadows, which is okay. That's a happy spot to be, is working in the shadows. For a new person doodling, shadows are your friends because you can hide in the shadows. Oh, there's some more. Actually, these spots, these leg things are going to be a little bit you know, I'm going to do this front one. I'm going to do this front one in this medium red. I'm going to do this one in this medium red. Because there's a little bit of light coming from this side. And there's a little bit of a pinstripe that starts here and goes up. And this is in the shadow of his arm. His arm and the glove are here. So this is in the shadow of the arm. And this back leg is in the shadow of the front leg. So I'm going to go to the next, I'm going to go to a deeper color and do, I'm going to do it there. And then just a little, next shade darker. So there's that. And this back stirrup is pretty dark here, except for this highlight up front. So I'm gonna darken it up a little bit, and I'm gonna darken this a little bit over here. It's dark, and then there's just a touch of red right in there. Ever so lightly. I'm going to come in and darken some of this up, just the certain spots of it. I'm going to leave the highlights in there, and it's going to kind of create a gradient going through. And then I'm just going to have a little bit darker area here. There's some different things going on here, so I'm going to do a little bit of that over there, and it's creating these different like gradients going through there. It just makes it look a little more lifelike, in my opinion. That one wasn't as dark as I thought. See, now here's this next one. So there's a little dark spot here. It's a little bit of a different tone of red, if you will, and I'm going to come in here, and then this is going to be some shading right in here along his body, right? It's like super shaded. So we're going to come in here. Now it's almost a little too dark, so I'm going to put some of that down in here. And I'm actually going to drop it down on the back side of this because his foot's, you know, it's rounded, so there's a little bit of a shade there. Not a horrible color for the parts of the cleats, because some of them are, this one's kind of in the back, there's some dark spots here pretty good, and even this one's got, you know, the back side of this heel is pretty dark. Bottom, and this tongue area, and even this tongue area, or foot toe box kind of area, and an area kind of right behind these cleats. Okay, so that's giving it almost this 3D look, because you're shading it to make it look like it's curving. Okay, so we get there, we get a little bit here. This is pretty tight to his skin, so you can see some of the muscles, and then you can see some of these wrinkles in the shirt as it bunches up, you know, higher. And then just a little bit of dark in the back there. Now, if that gets too dark, what you can do is you can come in with one of these lighter ones and basically just take it out, and if you go over it a little bit, it'll smudge it back in. It actually creates like a little bit more of a seamless transition from the super dark to the light. Kind of soften it up around the edges a little bit, and it kind of just disappears into more of a smoother shadow. You can kind of just smudge it around the fringe, if you will, and you can change how it looks. So and then let's get back to his hat. There's kind of a crinkle here. It kind of does this. So, you know, that's going to be, it's pretty apparent when you're sitting right here. And he's got a little bit of a curved crinkle here, and even one coming off of this highlight. And then from here down, even here I'm going to have to blend it in, but from here down it's this very deep shadow. It's almost making it look brown when I put it in here, but I'm going to leave the front edge a little bit lighter because that's where the light's coming from. But then I'm going to come back in with that lighter one, and I'm going to soften those edges a little bit. Just smooth them out a little bit, because it's a little dark. It's got a high contrast to what we were doing with the other colors. So I'm going to smooth those out a little bit. And again, I am not a professional. I really don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. And hopefully it looks halfway decent when I'm done. Who knows? Alright. We got the pocket, we got that. We got to come in with some red for number 1. The numbers on the jerseys, my favorite part, because then it's like, starts looking like the player, you know what I'm saying? This is where I wish these were really like a little finer, or I was drawing a little bit bigger, because you don't have much room for error here with really small letters. And I'm not gonna lie, my doodle is probably not the most accurate, so I'm about half winging it. You gotta keep in mind there's some wrinkles in here. Okay, so it's not perfectly easy to read, and it's curving. Ooh, baby. So you gotta take that into account. Not horrible. Not horrible. Not horrible, not horrible, not horrible. Let's put a little bit more on that T. Oh, see, I'll tighten that up with some markers. And he also has a red stripe above the blue. And there's one snuck in back here as well. There she be. We're getting closer. We are getting closer. Oh, this is why you gotta keep looking at stuff. There's a little bit of red. And again, I'm kind of staying away from the lines and letting it bleed into it. Hard to do. You gotta have a fine hand. I almost don't want to do that pinstripe, but I'm gonna do it. Like I said, if it doesn't come out great, you know what? I can fix it with a colored pencil. And it's not like I'm gonna lose my job or anything. It's not horrible, right? He's coming together here. He is coming together. Do 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 do. Black? No, don't need that. Let's work a little bit on the glove and the arm and neck face area. So I'm going to lay down. Pretty much I'm going to lay down, let me just, this is pretty much going to be my high color. It's kind of a yellowy, they call it raw silk. So I'm going to lay this down and it'll give me my highlights. In some regards, this is much or very similar to watercolors. Not that I'm a watercolor expert either. It's all self-taught and pretty darn amateur. But you want to start with the highs and then fill in around. Whereas with like an acrylic or something, you can color in and then come in on top. You know, let it dry, and you can put highlights on top. Hard to do with this, although they do have this number 0, like there's just like plain alcohol in, I guess, and if you put that on there, it'll erase stuff. I'm not gonna show you that. I don't want to mess this up, but so there's that. And he's got a little bit of, this is a pale cream, and so I'm going to start kind of coming in with a couple of different colors here, and again you can kind of blend them in. I'm going to leave some highlights up in here. There's a couple little highlights in there though. I'm not going to fill that all in. There's a little bit of highlight in there. I'm going to color around that. Okay, so now we're starting to create a gradient there. He's got a little bit of up here, but I don't think it's as light as the other one. So I'm just going to put a little bit of there around his ear. That's kind of glistening in the lights, if you will. And we're going to go to, I don't know where I'm going to go next. I'm going to go to putty next, I think. This is a little bit more of a brown tone to it. So I'm going to kind of come in. You can do a little bit of the highlighting with the lighter colors but it blends it more than highlights it. It's hard to describe, but and so I'm going to kind of come around here with this. I'll leave some of those highlights in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back a step. And I'm going to try to blend some of that little darker. I'm going to stay away from the highlights. I'm going to try to blend some of that color in a little bit. I think I need to go another. It's a fairly light glove, to be honest with you, but I need a little bit more brown, or not brown. I think maybe this walnut is going to be a good color to kind of come in and hit some of the lows. Now that's pretty dark, okay? But what you'll see what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some of these little details in here for the glove. Okay, some of the valleys between the fingers. Okay, and that's going to be kind of a low light. There's a little bit of some webbing here that kind of looks like spotty, and then some darkness here. He's got his finger out, and so inside this opening, quite a bit of dark spot, and then that's hitting the light, but underneath here has got some shade. Okay, and there's a little bit of shade underneath. His finger's kind of coming out in the highlight. There's detail. I'm going to bring this detail down just a hair more. I'm going to leave that there. There's a little bit of something here. And just some things here that I don't want to miss. And there's a bunch of little detail here. And again, you don't have to be perfect with it. And then you can come in with the color before it and just kind of blend it back in, so that the detail still kind of stays there, but it mutes it a little bit. It's not as hard. And some of this webbing, I can just kind of lose it. Some of this. And again, it kind of just softens it up a little bit. And then what I can do is I can come back in with some pencil and add some hard detail. Okay, and I gotta basically do that same thing. I wasn't paying attention, but I gotta do that same kind of technique with his arm. Now he's gonna be a little bit darker than the glove. Not by much, actually, and so I'm not gonna get too crazy with going light, but he's got a little bit of a muscle kind of there, a muscle groove, if you will, and then this is being shadowed, so the lights are coming from the top, from the stadium lights, so the glove is actually shadowing his forearm quite a bit. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to shadow that out, and then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to soften that up. I'm going to leave some of those highlights there. You know, and that's looking a little, want a little bit, whoops, want a little more brown. Okay, I'm going to take the brown with this other color and mix that in a little bit. Leave the highlights in. Just to differentiate between the glove a little bit more. I can come back in with that lighter color and soften that up a little bit. And I'll harden that up a little bit. Okay, now let's get back to his head a little bit. And it's mostly shadowed, so I'm going to start right in with the brown. He's got a little bit of a wrinkle there. I don't know if he's got a shirt on underneath or if that's just his shirt. I'm going to be careful with the hat, which is red. Okay, and his ear, which is a highlight. with some low lights in it. And his face. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pretty dark, and then I'll come in and I'll soften certain areas. Barely seeing his nose in here. I'm going to come back in with this color here. I'm going to soften some. Ooh, that's dark. Ooh, good thing I stopped. It's dark when you put them two together, and that's okay. That's where I'm going to soften this ear up a little bit and drag it out. Maybe soften the edge around that. Still staying pretty high, so I'm going to drop it down. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to color that in. I'm going to drop it out. Put some of this yellow. This is where you're erasing it, but you're not erasing it. You're just putting in a highlight by taking some. You're using a lighter color to take some of the pigment out. And then I'm going to come in, because this is pretty dark and shadowed. I'm just going to give some lines up in here. I'm going to give some lines back in here under the hat. I'm going to leave the brown going this way as kind of a shadow, or a highlight, a little bit of a highlight. And some of that's probably a little bit of hair, so I'm going to go deep. I'm going to go a little bit deeper on it, right around the hat area. Super shadowing, and then some around the ear. I don't know, he probably had some sideburns. And so the key here is that it doesn't need to be perfect, but you get the idea that that's skin, and this is obviously Ozzie Smith. You know, you got his jersey number, he's flipping, like you know who it is, so you want to get close on it, and then, you know, just let the viewer interpret it a little bit. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not a realist, if you will. I'm trying to get somewhat real, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And a lot of these edges will kind of get crisped up. What I'll do is I'll come through and I'll outline them. We got to do shadowing on the jersey. I think I'm done with most of these now, so let's put these over here. And then I've got a couple of different shades of gray. So we've got, let's get them in line here, 0.5, 1, 3, and 5. And so we're going to start in light, and we're going to just see, this is a fairly easy uniform because he's got a little bit of shadowing just kind of that's coming out just along this wrinkle. It's not much of a shadow. Okay, and it kind of comes up into the belt area a little bit, and then underneath here is shadowed fairly heavily. Okay, but it tapers off fairly quickly, so there's some light filtering through there on that other side, and obviously there's a little bit of graying inside here between the two. So it's a very light shadow here, pretty clean there. There's a little bit of some light shadowing on the back side of this calf, but not much. So I'm just going to drop in a little bit, and this is the lightest gray I have. And even back here there's not much shadowing. And his leg, I'm just going to kind of do that, bring it out a little bit, just to provide some definition there. There's a little bit of, there goes one of my markers. There's a little bit of shadowing in this kind of pocket area. So I'm going to drop a little bit of shadowing in there. There's a little bit of tuck shadow right in here. It's barely hard to see, and so I'm just going to give him a little bit of tuck shadow. There's a little bit of a shadow here. You can see the wrinkle kind of comes out. So there's a little bit of a shadow here. There's a very slight wrinkle. He's got a fairly tight uni on, I guess. That kind of comes out here and here. Okay, and a little bit of a shadow back here on the arm. And that's it over there. And there's a little bit of a little hint of a shadow here. And then over here is where we get most of the kind of the little wrinkle shadows. There's going to be, we're going to drop a little bit in here, and just because the arm's shadowing there, but it's not much because there's a lot of lights apparently. He's got to be out in the middle of the field, and there's a pretty heavy crease right here. So I'm going to drop it's kind of almost like a hump in there, and that comes into kind of a crease that's kind of coming off. And there's just some shoulder creases up in here, kind of heading to a point out this way. So you drag it out to that. I mean, you only touch the paper, but it's coming to a point out here, a pivot point, and then it's got a fairly heavy shoulder shadow right here. Okay, and then there's just these little wrinkle shadows. That's about it. That is about it. So then I'm just going to come in with this next one, and I'm just going to define these a little bit more. So I went from a half to a 1. This is a cool gray 1, and I'm not even going to hit all of them. I'm just going to hit kind of the main parts of it. Then I'm going to go to a 2, and I'm going to just hit the base parts of this. This is it. You can see how the 1 to a 2 jumps pretty heavy, and there's a little bit of heavy shadowing here. And I'm ever so lightly just touching it and scratching it. This one's got a little bit, okay, and a little bit here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with that 1, and I'm just going to soften those up a little bit. Bada bing, bada boom. Ta-da! Cards, guns, and collectibles. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. A little bit of Ozzie Smith, the Wizard. You're the only guy hanging out in here. I've been kind of trying to look over, but I've been focusing kind of on the thing here. So we got Ozzie upside down, and I'm pretty close here. I was mentioning earlier, and I think the recording will go out. I don't know how long I've been recording for, but yeah, these are Copics. Yep, alcohol based, and then I'm going to come in with a Sharpie. I'm just going to do a little detail around this pocket. Originally I was going to go navy blue in here, but I think it's more just shadowing around his pocket. And then I like to come in on the main kind of outline of things. And basically, especially on these home unis where they're white, it just kind of makes it pop a little bit. And then I'll kind of follow the uni in, and then I'll come back out here and follow outside. And what I'll have to do is I'll have to come in and touch it up a little bit with some colored pencils. But yeah, I just got into drawing again. I say again, I didn't, last time I did like drawing was high school or something, I don't know. But I've been kind of like frustrated with card prices, and I'm into Hall of Famers, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna draw some Hall of Famers. If it comes out bad, like, who cares? And then everybody's like, oh, that's pretty cool, man. And so I was like, you know what, let's throw it up here on the live. Let's just hang out and doodle, and you guys can just see what I'm doing. And it's more abstract than anything. I've definitely got to work on faces. I'm not very good with faces, but like in this one, if you can get the pose right where there's not a lot of face, it's kind of cheating, but at the same time, it's not cheating, right? So I'm just going to connect this to the thing here, and yeah, because he's always flipping up and stuff, right? So it's a pretty good picture. Yeah, I don't know. This might be when he flipped that. I'm not 100% sure. This is just a picture that I found on the interwebs. What am I going to do here? Am I going to do that? Am I going to do that? I am going to do it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to highlight this stirrup. I almost need a lighter toned, almost like a gray outlining pen. I think that might be a better. This is like, I mean, it really makes it pop, but it's a little dark. I have some other pens too I probably could use that are a little finer, but this is what I had, and I'm okay with just kind of using what you got right in front of you. Some little cleats in here. He's got a cleat up in here. There's a cleat back in here, and I assume there's a cleat there. Cleat over here. It's like a big cleat over here. I'm gonna come in here with this. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm gonna do the rest with marker, or oh no, I gotta do his head. Whoa, who else we got in here? Hobbyist, what's up, man? Bud Stoney, what's up, man? Just doodling. Your daughter's a good artist? That's awesome, man. I think art's pretty cool. I mean, it's I don't know, it's an expression of whatever, right? I mean, to me, it's a calming thing. Like, I just love, like, I've been loving the doodles. And they're coming out pretty good, so I can't complain with that. I definitely did not go to Cal Art or any art school. I'm a science guy, so a lot of times you don't see scientists that really get into arts, and I think that's in my job. I think it's one of the best parts about it is because I tend to be fairly creative with science type topics and figuring out answers to things that a lot of people aren't used to doing. So I think it's a skill to have. I really do. I think it's a pretty good skill to have, being able to have a creative mind. So like here, I'm just going to come in with a little bit of like hard color with some colored pencils and just put a little bit of detail in here, a little bit more, so it's not so smudgy. And I think that kind of tightens it up a little bit. Just coloring in here a little bit of detail in some of these valleys. I gotta find a good red. I don't know, I got thousands of damn pencils and I don't have the right red. It is what it is. Oh, doodling school that's where we're at. We're at doodling school. Yeah, I mean, if that's our happy place, I mean, the thing with art, like, you got to be able to make a living. I mean, I think there's jobs out there, but the big thing for me is, like, okay, how are you going to make a living? Like, you have to have a trade of some sort, right? And I always looked at it this way, like, I always loved doodling, but I'm not good enough. And now that may be a self-esteem thing, but I'm not good enough to make money doing it. So I was like, yeah, I enjoy it, but I'm not going to do it. So I do wish I took more art classes in college. You know, they were there, but I was on a mission to, you know, I knew what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I was on a mission to get that done and get my life going. So, but it's definitely relaxing for me now. So it's like, okay, I have kind of a trade, if you will, and I make my money there. And then this, like, art is just something that I do that it's a balance, I think. And it's funny because I can tell when I'm getting stressed. If I get stressed enough, then I will do something creative. It's a balance, and I'm not sure that's for every person, but it's an interesting concept that perhaps, you know, we have to have some sort of creative outlet to some degree. Now, what, you know, sometimes that's for me, like, it's building something. Like, every once in a while, I'll just go build something, like something big, you know, or like wrenching, like, you know, like heavy duty stuff. And that's not defined typically like art is, but that's a happy spot where you're being creative, like you're doing something, you know, not totally creative, but you're doing something different than, you know, book work or computer work or, you know, whatever work you do. You know, I think you have to do just different things in life to keep it kind of, I don't know, fresh. And for, like, right now in my life, this doodling is really doing it for me. I don't know how to put it any other way than that. So why not, you know, it's like, I'm just going to share it. Here's the red I need, but I don't think it's sharp enough. Oh yeah, that's the one, guys. That's the one. That's the red we need. I'm going to red these things up a little bit here. Get the shading in here right. I need to sharpen that. I don't have my pencil sharpener. What are you guys up to? Anybody up to anything good? You guys find any? What are you guys finding? Cards? You guys about fed up as I am? Can't find anything. My card shop's pretty good, but retail is, to me, retail is where it's at because it's priced correctly and it doesn't change. You know, my local card shop is actually pretty good, but, you know, he follows the market. He's no dummy. I mean, he's got to make money too. People are going to buy it, and he only has so much of it, so he's got to make his money. So I don't know. I tend to buy stuff from my LCS, but I don't buy all of it from my LCS. I probably buy about half. I spend about half at my LCS of my money, my budgeted money. It's actually probably a little bit less, and then I spend, let's call it 40% at my LCS and probably 60% on retail if I can find it. Let's see what I'm doing here. I gotta focus. I'm just coming in and putting in a little bit more detail here, and I gotta tighten this one up a little bit. But I mean, I can't find any retail. Everybody's sucking it up. Now, I don't sell anything, so I'm definitely not a flipper, but I do put some away. And I don't know, maybe I will sell it in the future, so maybe I am a flipper. But I'm a long-term hold flipper guy. I don't know. I mostly put it away because it's like, what if there's something that I can't get? So I in my mind, I'm going to open that someday. But if it gets totally crazy, I guess I could sell it. Trying to tighten these pinstripes up here a little bit, and this pencil is just about as good as my markers. Yeah, I know, bud. I'm holy moly. Okay, Bud's typing descriptions for his videos. Cool, cool. LCS is more of a hangout for sports talk. And my LCS as well, I find that I don't have unlimited time to go hang out, but I will pop in there if I can get away and maybe hang out for an hour and just chat with guys in there. I met some cool guys the other day. Actually, one guy that wants to give me some cards for kids with cancer, so that's pretty exciting. So I got to catch back up with him somehow, and so yeah, it's I'm trying to get my guy to set that up a little bit more. I was like, hey, you should put another table in and whatever, but it's his business, so I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. But yeah, it's definitely more of a hanging out kind of deal. He's mostly new. He's got some older stuff. I wish he had more like dime and quarter boxes. That's a happy spot for me. And that's where, like, when I do these like giveaways, I got to get in those like dime and quarter boxes, because that's where I get my cards for all you guys. And he hasn't been allowing people to rummage through there with the corona, so that was actually been kind of a bummer. I'm gonna add a little more brown in this glove. That's the other thing with these with these pencils, is on this paper they get a little, it's like raised bumps. And so what I'm going to do is I'm pretty sure this alcohol, the colored pencils have a little bit of wax in them, I believe, and the alcohol, I think, will come in and kind of like dissolve it a little bit, if you will. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come in with one of these markers. Let's see, Bud's a little overwhelmed with how far. Yeah, there's so much content out there, you know, and I do post frequently. We've been trying to do like one a day, or on average, you know. Wow, that's way darker. Good thing I just swiped that. You know, we're trying to put it out there to average about one a day. And I'm going to have to come in with a lighter color here as well. Lighten around the edges. And I don't know, maybe it's too much. I keep thinking, maybe it's too much, but part of the reason why I do videos is just to keep track of what Little Leaf and I are doing. So we put them out there, and you know, I'm certainly, you know, if somebody's not watching them, I'm not too worried about it. I mean, you guys have lives and things like that, but so we certainly don't take it personally. I mean, we obviously love the interaction, but you can't watch it all. The other thing too is, like, when I first started making videos, I was doing, it was kind of like the whole thing. Like, I'd open like a whole box, like a hobby box, and it'd take like an hour. Like, who's gonna sit there and watch an hour of somebody opening cards, right? Or I'd get like a ComC order in, and it'd be like 300 cards, and I'd just go through all 300 cards. And so what I've been doing lately is I've been chunking them in. I try not to go over, you know, that 6-7 minute mark. Some of them go to 10, and some of them go to 20, but I try to have a lot of like 2, 3, 5 minute, you know, 6 minute videos. So if you're wanting to watch something, you know, you can just pop in, you know, watch a couple minutes of it. You get the gist of what's going on, and you can be on your way, you know. Just again, we want to share, you know, and we love when people watch our videos, but you know, you can't get them all. And yeah, I've been buying Mandalorian cards lately. In the pictures, they told them the shop doesn't even make enough to pay them. Jeep, yeah, so they are just hanging out. I mean, which is cool. I mean, I'd probably work at a card shop. You know, like if I could go there and work, if I was going to hang out for like 4 hours and you could pay me for one of them, I'd say that's a win. You know, and I'll sort through some cards or put some boxes away or whatever. So yeah, I can see how you could get some low pay employees into a card shop. Yeah, I've been buying Mandalorian cards. Where'd they go? I snuck them somewhere around here. I don't know. Like, why did I buy my Mandalorian cards? I don't know. I mean, I like the show, and I just did. Did I post the videos? Yeah, I did, because they're kind of like first off the line. I wanted to get them out, so people can see. Like, to make the other things, like I really want to get that stuff out there so that people can. Hey, what's up, Jesse? So people can see that. So, like, when I first started watching YouTube, I was watching to see what was in boxes, because I was coming back into the hobby, and I was like, I don't even know what this stuff is, but it costs like $100 a box. So what am I getting for my $100, right? So a lot of my first videos were just me opening blaster boxes and like, hey, this is what's in a blaster box. I thought I was doing a service. I don't know if I was or not, but I felt like people wanted to know. That's what I was watching. So I was like, oh, I'll put whatever I'm getting in and wherever I'm open, I'll share it. And I'll just share it, and I'll share my thoughts on it. And you could watch it or not. But again, I would like open the whole hobby box, and I don't think people want to watch that. So I've moved to, you'll see, like, I'll open a jumbo pack, and then I'll open another jumbo pack, and I'll open another, and eventually we'll get through the box, but we'll do it, 5 or 6 minutes at a time instead of, an hour and a half all at once. So, but yeah, so I wanted to get those Mandalorian ones out there. It was tricky because I was at the store and I was looking for football or baseball, and obviously nothing. Actually, there's some update out there if you really are looking and really want it. There's some update out there, but even that in certain places is all bought up. I do about, not on a regular, well, define regular basis, but in a given week or two, I probably visit 4 different Walmarts and 2 different Targets. And then on a monthly basis, and this is just hitting it at the right time, depending on where I'm going for work, if I'm traveling for a bit and I got to stretch my legs, I'll plan that around a Walmart or a Target. And I probably hit, with my regular ones and the ones where I'm traveling in a month, probably 12 different Walmarts and 4 or 5 different Targets. 10 to 12 Walmarts and 4 to 5 Targets. And yeah, I found some stuff, but it's few and far between. There was a drought there for like 3 months where I got nothing. Topps Living Mandalorian card. Oof. Yeah, I got a couple of the living cards, but man, they're so expensive. I don't know. I just can't get into that. Of course, I jumped right into Project 2020. Why I did that, I have no idea. You guys want to see those Mandalorian cards? I mean, I posted a video, but I can share with you guys. Just gotta dig them out of the back here. Got stacks and stacks and stacks of cards. Oh my gosh. Ozzy's pretty much done. I'm gonna come in and do a little bit of work on the thing there, but we can be done with him for now. Here's the paper I'm using. My kids came in and drew all over it. I'll tell you what, I had some cards out, top sides. I'm in the basement, but a lot of times I'll bring stuff up, and I brought some stuff up topside one day, and I had a lot of autographs on the cards that were upstairs. Luckily, it wasn't anything crazy. It was just junk wax or whatever it was, but they were all autographed by my kids. Where the heck did I put them? They're right here. Oh, they are right here. Okay, so the tricky thing about the Mandalorian cards, and I did not realize this at first, is that there's two blasters out there to get, and one of them is a full set, and that is this. And the other one is like a blaster with 61 cards in it, I believe. And I don't know what the set is. Let me just look through the numbers real quick. I didn't do any background on it. I just opened it. I was like, I'm going to open this and post it. It looks like it might be about a 100 card set, because I'm not seeing anything over 100. There's 100. I don't see anything over 100. So you'd be pretty close if you got two blasters. You'd probably get pretty darn close to finishing the set, I bet. So you get, well, I don't know what it was, seven packs. It was like a blaster, and then you get a medallion card. So we got this. Let me see. I gotta go this way with it. No, I gotta go this way with it. There we go. You're gonna focus. I got this. What I call a cheap pandemic HD video thing. So obviously not focusing very well here. But this thing is metal. That thing is like a badge. It's like a metal. So pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I'm digging it. I'm digging that. Like it's cool. Like it's got a cool factor. But I'm totally geeking on Mandalorian. I don't think I finished my statement earlier. I have not watched all the Star Wars movie. Only the original 3. That's it. I mean, I'm not even talking like 5 minutes of any of the other ones. Like I don't even know what's going on. You know, I know there's whatever 4, 5, and 6, but it's really, you know, it's out of order. And then you get the side ones, or you get the Han Solo one, and then you get the other one that's kind of off to the side. Obviously, this Mandalorian's off to the side, or actually beyond, like after. And so I haven't, like, I'm not familiar with the full timeline, and I had not watched all of it. But man, I'm geeking out on Mandalorian. And what's happened is last season, I didn't watch it, and then all of a sudden I binged it. Like 2 days, I watched all of season 1 of Mandalorian, and I was like, heck yeah, I want to watch this. Like, it's badass. This is like fight scenes, a little bit too much pew pew for me, if you know what I'm talking about. Like, I like Jedi, I like lightsaber. You know, like I want somebody shooting pew pew at me and bouncing with the saber. You know what I'm saying? Like pow 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 pow. You know, like samurai stuff. And so it's interesting because I've been kind of studying Star Wars a little bit lately, and this is weird because I just haven't. I've been out of it for like 30 years. But anyway, Mandalorian's really got me into it again. Yeah, this last episode was like, yes, that's the Jedi Star Wars that I'm craving. Pew pews and lightsabers. Like dual lightsabers, heck yeah, pow pow pow. Anyway, tried Cohen, like I said last week, and it turned out good. All right, Derek, that's awesome, man. We're talking about Mandalorian, so a little side gig here, but so I really geeked out on Mandalorian this first season, and then I was like, okay, it's back in. Like I was waiting, like okay, let's do this season 2. And the problem I'm having right now is it's frustrating me because you have to wait a week. And it's like, in my mind, like, Mando is out doing stuff. Like, he's not waiting a week. He's out having adventures. Like, you better show me his adventures now. Like, I know he's having adventures. Don't keep them from me. You know, like, what are we doing here? Like, I could not be, like, a lot of people get in these, like, series where you watch, like, a show every Tuesday night or whatever. I can't do that. Like, I'm having a hard time with this. So I'm almost better off not watching. Now I'm in it, though. I got to do it. So we got another one coming, right? And I'm booked, especially after the last one, and I'm in it. But I think if they're going to do a season 3, I'm not going to start watching it. I'm going to let it go, and then I'm going to watch the whole season all at once. You know. So anyway, so this was pretty cool. You know, every blaster I think gets somebody like in there, so that was cool. And then these are just random cards out of a 100-card set, and then there's some color variations. I got to get this thing right here. So blues are 1 every 2 packs, and purples are every 4 packs. And I got a bunch of blues and purples. 2 purples, I think. 3 purples and a bunch of blues. But you get these character cards. So there's the bounty hunter droid. I love that guy, just like spinning around on its hips and pew-pewing everybody. But they're just they're scenes from the show. So it's pretty cool, you know. It's just scenes from the show. Oh yeah, there's Moff Gideon. The showdown, man. Bounty bait. Yeah, I want to go watch it again. Just watch it. Remember this guy? He was all like freaking out. Imperial Death Trooper. Pretty cool. So the cards are cool. They're shiny cards, and then you got purple variations of them in the blue. And then there's this insert set tools of the bounty hunter, so it's kind of going through all his tools. There's the little guy. And oh, there's a good picture of the little guy right there. Yeah, Jesse, it's absolutely right. I think it's a way to go. And I'd even just stay back. Like, I wouldn't even, I'd just stop. I'm too far into it right now that I can't stop. Like, I'm like jonesing for it. There's a bunch of, let me see here. What was the other insert set? Oh, they got characters. So there's, this way. So they get all this. It's like an insert set that's got a good picture of each of the characters. Oh man, there's that Mudhorn. That thing was nasty. Aliens and creatures. So that must be like another insert set, and all of these have like color variations. So it's a pretty basic set. There's that scary cat. You guys remember that thing? I love Scout Troopers, man. With the bikes. That's like my favorite. Those are probably my favorite characters. There's Moff Gideon. The shitty camera, but anyway. So yeah, there's the purple. Just the purple of the crew there. So nothing crazy. Tools of the Bounty Hunters, the grab charge. I don't know. It's just a picture of him. That's kind of a weird picture, but and that. So that was one blaster box, but when I rolled up on the shelf, I'm like, oh, what's this? There's no baseball or anything. I'm gonna do the Star Wars, and there was just a bunch of blasters, and I realized there's two kinds. So there was this one, Series 1, okay, blaster, 61 cards, I think, and a pack, or this relic thing, it's like enameled metal. Like, that's pretty sweet. And then the other blaster is a complete set. And it's it says, I gotta show you guys the blasters. Okay, just so you can see. So, Star Wars Season 1, and it says Star Wars Mandalorian Season 1. And this says Star Wars Mandalorian. But it says Journey of the Child. Get these right. So you look at the top of them, two different ones. But I thought they were just the same with just two kind of artwork on the box. But two different ones. So the Journey of the Child is a complete set. And let me just see what it says. Exclusive 32 card complete set. Now that's a misnomer. I think they described that wrong. So I'm like, well, what's going on? So there's these art cards. They're kind of like just sketch cards. Different. I don't know who does them. I haven't looked into it. Okay, and it's art cards. 1 of 5, 2 of 5, 3 of 5, 5 of 5. Right? That says 5 of 5 down there, and I think there's color variations of those. Okay. Then you have. I'm going to put these aside for a second. Then you have a set. This is all the cards in the set. So it starts with card number 1, and it goes to card number, wish this camera was better, but that's 25. So it's basically a 25 card set. 25 card set, and it's all of the little guy. I mean, if you're into the little guy, it's just pictures of him. Like, I got bad glare here, but it's all of him, just pictures of him all the way. People holding him and him looking at stuff, and it's telling his story, but it's all about him. So if you're into that cute, how can you say no to that guy? He's a cute little dude. So, and I think everybody's about him. So it's all just pictures of him. Okay? Oh man. Can you imagine if that came up to you and like, I want to eat some orange frog eggs? Like, yeah, you can have some. So you can see how Mando just melts. Okay, so 25 card set. So 5 cards, 5 card art card, 25 card set, and then 2. Now I got green variations. All right, bud. We'll catch you later, man. We'll catch you later. Much love to you too, man. You should have something coming in the mail this week. Well, next week. It'll be next week. Anyway, so 2 green ones. So that makes 25 set, 5 art cards, and 2 makes the 32. So I think the set's 25, and then you can get the variations. Now, I was looking at on the box, and it says base card parallels. Red, 1 out of 19 boxes. Blue, 1 out of 36 boxes. Orange, 179 boxes. Steel would be pretty cool. But the question is, like, if it's steel, then couldn't you feel it? Like, I think people are gonna weigh these things and take the steel ones, if that's what it is. I hope they're not actual steel, but anyway. And then it says illustrated card parallels, red, blue, orange, and steel as well. So I think you can get packs that have different, reds, blues, and whatever of these 2 cards that are in there. And then I think you can get packs that have these cards that are colors. Is he the offspring of Yoda? The word on the street is that he's not, but I think they might. Supposedly, this is after the fall, right? And again, I am not a Star Wars geek, or I'm not a Star Wars, expert, I guess. I like the stuff, but so this would be the after, like, everything's done. Everything's kind of rebuilding. This is when Mandalorian's operating here, and everything's just kind of all messed up, and you still got people holding on to either side, basically, and that's everybody's trying to sort it out, right? So Yoda, I think they said, like, this little guy's a couple hundred years old or something. I can't remember. If anybody else can remember this stuff, then feel free to chime in, because again, I'm not an expert, but I think he's like 200 years old, but I think Yoda's like 800 years old or something crazy like that. There's some sort of thing. So, like, maybe Yoda could be his dad. I mean, it's obviously his species, and I think they made reference to that. Like, I think somebody asked somewhere, like, is this Yoda, or is this Yoda as a baby? And everybody's like, well, definitely not, because he's a baby after Yoda is already, 700 years old. So it's definitely not Yoda as a baby. It could be Yoda's offspring. No, I'm not going to rule that out until somebody puts me in my place on that. Maybe he does owe some child support to the Mando, right? I keep thinking Mando's going to go to Dagobah, right? I mean, you guys feeling that? I mean, I don't know how we got on this topic, but from Ozzie Smith, the wizard. Yoda's kind of like a wizard, but anyway, Jedis are like wizards, modern wizards, right? But anyway, I keep thinking Mando is going to, like, pull a Yui and, like, pull into Dagobah and be like, hey, here's this thing. 50 years, yeah. I think it doesn't seem like it's that far off from the big, war. But, I mean, don't you guys think he's got to end up at Dagobah? Like he's got to go to Dagobah, right? To find Yoda. Yoda, wasn't Yoda on Dagobah? He was, like, outcast, he was, like, hiding. It's like, what did Yoda do? And again, keep in mind, I didn't watch the other 3 movies, so don't give me a big spoiler here, guys. At some point, I'm going to make a commitment. I think once my kids are a little bit older, like when Lily's a little bit older, I think we're going to sit down and just watch everything. But I got to wait for the times right so that he will appreciate it. Let me put Ozzie Smith in there just in case people walk in and they're like, what the heck are you doing? So yeah, at some point I got to watch the other, like, 5 movies. I feel like I might be able to watch the Han Solo one, maybe. Yeah, I'm glad he's got a name. I don't know. Probably everybody's got it figured out by now, but maybe not. Oh no, Jesse's not. Jesse's two episodes behind. So the little guy's got a name, Jesse. The Jedi figured it out, man. Jesse, you're gonna love the episode that just happened, man. You're gonna love the episode, man. Well, I don't know. I loved it. It seems like everybody loved it. Like it was I feel like I'm like a real Star Wars like nerd right now, but like I was like, heck yeah. Like I'm gonna watch it again tonight probably. Cause it was bad, mamma jamma. Alright. There's Ozzy. This is going out to somebody, by the way. One of the guys that donated cards. For cards for kids with cancer. So it is going to have a home. Apparently he likes Ozzy Smith. Actually, it didn't take me too long to do this. I started at, I don't know, like 9? Of course, we've been chatting for a bit. And my kids were having like a circus upstairs. So I had to do a second recording or live session because I had to go break that up. Anybody want to come on the stream? Can I do this? I never even tried this. That would give you a link? You guys want to come on the screen? I'm like a bad host. I'm putting my markers away. What else you guys got going on? So you guys are all into Star Wars too. I wonder how many of the like sport card collectible people are into Star Wars. So you notice like Mike, baseball collector, he's a Spider-Man comic guy. And well, Eric, those back pages, he does a lot of comics too. So I bet you there's a lot of people out in the sports card collecting world that are collecting other stuff too. Anyway, hey, Cards, Guns, Collectibles, man, thanks so much for hanging out. Certainly appreciate it. Have fun at work, as much fun as you can. Be safe out there. There's 2 of you left. Anybody want to come on? No? My feelings won't be hurt. How am I missing pens? Markers. Alright. What else we got? Anything to address tonight, guys? Get some cards over here. These came in the mail. Maybe if I show you guys, I don't have to do a video. I'll probably, well, is there anything in here? No, not anything too crazy. Randy Vataha. This guy, look at this guy sending me a beat up old card saver. Randy Vataha. What is this? Card saver 2, but he's got something else in there. These are always good. So like, so it's another Randy Vataha. I'm gonna try to TTM him. These card savers, and then he put another card in there to protect it, I guess. And it is Dan Melendez. Dun 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 dun. Dan Melendez. I wonder if he TTMs. To look it up. I don't know what I'm going to do. My 50s and 60s is going to be over soon. Here's a guy that uses Scotch tape. Pete Johnson. I'm pretty sure he TTMs. I think I was looking for some TTMs. And these are going to be 2 last minute. I don't know if they'll send them back in time. Bob Speak and Jose Santiago. I can't believe I missed him. He's a Red Sox, but I'm going to try to TTM these guys and get some points, last minute points for Team 50s and 60s. who is winning right now, by the way, against Team 90s. So that's that. All right, we lost one. There's only one person left in here. Who's the lucky person? Hanging till the end. Who is it? Somebody that logged out and didn't think that they did? Or thought that they logged out and didn't? Alright, I'm going to end it. I'm going to end it. Certainly appreciate we had some great guys in here. If you're at the end of the recording, you just scroll up here. Give some people some props. Cards, guns, and collectibles. First one in. Hobbyists came in, popped in for a little bit. One and only Bud Stoney was here. Card hobbyist, the one and only Bud Stoney. Then Jesse from Think Blue 77 came in. And for a hot minute, we had Derek's cards. Looked like he did some doodling, and that worked out good. There's Jesse some more. And right at the end, Steve Rademacher came in. So it was a good group of guys here in tonight. Certainly appreciate them all coming in and hanging out where I do a little bit of doodling. And hey, if you guys are open to anything, best of luck to you. Don't forget to collect to connect. It's the people in the hobby that are the best part. And have an awesome day.